Welcome to the No Plan B podcast. My name is Rene Weimann. With me, as always, Joe Asbury, and our guest for this week's episode of the No Plan B podcast, Richie Williams. It's September 11th, 2020. Joe, please introduce our guest.
Ladies and gentlemen, representing San Diego and all the real riders out west, Richie Williams, my brother. What it do, man? Good to see you, brother.
Appreciate y'all having me, man. It's always a blessing to be able to connect with my West Coast partner, Joe. And it's nice to meet you, Renee. So thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, it's our pleasure, man. And let me put it out there for all the listeners, man. Richie's such a great basketball player, man. And, such a really good dude. And it's crazy how we met. He was, chasing his professional basketball dream. And, I was already living out quite a few. And, we just connected, man, in a little box in Hannover, man, and we had that bond ever since, man. And I'm so proud of this guy, man. Such a great player, such a good dude, man. So when did this journey all start for you, bro? When did you really fall in love with that basketball?
Man, I think I was just like any other kid growing up, just wanted to be outside, make friends, and, find something to do. So, I ventured off into basketball, football, baseball, soccer, played a little bit of everything. But then, once I turned about 6 or 7, when I could first start playing organized sports, just basketball was something that I just fell in love with right off the bat, even, outside of practice, away from friends. Basketball is something that you can do with a group or by yourself. And, because, I'm an introvert, and I like to do things alone and be in my own little bubble. Basketball was something that I was able to do by myself. And all those many nights, mom having to scream down the street, telling me be in the house before the street lights come on and all this other stuff, playing basketball. But yeah, since I was 7, 8 years old, man.
That is awesome, bro. That is awesome. So yeah, let's speed up the process then. So when did you start to play like organized hoops? Was it AAU or was it like the boys club or, when did you, where was your first team? Where did you start off at?
At the rec center in my community. My mom was my first coach.
Nice.
So, yeah, it was one of those things where, my teammates was upset because they felt like I was getting favoritism because my mom was a coach. But, I backed it up because I was a real hooper. So,
yeah,
it was good. But my mom wasn't one of those coaches where she would take it easy on me. She was a little bit tougher too because, she was a basketball player. So
yeah,
she wouldn't let me slack or anything like that. Or we'll go home, she's criticizing me, critiquing me on my game and how I can get better and everything like that. But yeah, right up the street, the local rec center. My mom was my first basketball coach. And yeah, from there it was history.
very nice, man. Shout out Miles, because Miles created a real stud guard right there. That dude right there, he's a real ball player. So how did high school go for you, man? Was that a cool experience?
High school was cool, man. I went to a small high school, Steel Canyon. And it was one of those schools where not too many people knew who we were. I mean, I was well known, in the city, but I went to a school that, was off the radar, a school that nobody really expected anything from, and, ended up appearing in 3 CIF, California championships and winning 2 of them, and getting all-state honors and, really being able to make a name for myself and, put a stamp on San Diego and Steel Canyon as far as, one of those flying under the radar schools that nobody talked about to like, damn, where is this school at? Now, people trying to enroll their kids over at this school too, because one, it was pretty good academically, and 2, we were prospering athletically.
That is badass, bro. And so how did college go, man? We all know, everybody from Cali, we know San Diego State's a great program, man. And I received a few letters from there back in the days when I was a youngin', when they were recruiting me, and I was really impressed with their arena, bro. Like, okay, I went to Pepperdine, but yeah, man, when I first saw that arena, I was like, oh man, I can see myself dunking in that thing. But I know I know you ran circles around dudes, man. How was college for you, bro?
It was good, man. I really loved it, man. I was very fortunate to be able to stay home and go to, the local college in my neighborhood, where I was close to home. I could still go right up the street, get that home cooking for mom, and then make it on time to study hall.
Nice.
But it was good. I got to play for the legendary Steve Fisher. I actually had a college teammate. He was a senior my freshman year. He's from Pittsburgh, California, Tremaine Davis. Shout out to my OG Tremaine. And it was a good 4 years, man. Just like any other college student, any other hooper, you have your ups and downs, during the journey. But all you remember during those 4 years is the highs, man. And I was very fortunate to learn from a legendary coach who coached the Fab Five. And I think that really helped me in my professional career.
Man, that's awesome, man. Shout out your boy Tremaine. Shout out P World. I know all about P World. I know all about 10th Street. I can write a book about it. So let's keep it pushing, man. So how was the pro experience? I mean, you're still an active pro, so how was it in the beginning and how's it going for you now? I mean, you're well traveled, so let's share with the listeners all the different countries you've been through, man. You're the real definition of a globetrotter, homie.
Well, like I said before, I was born and raised in San Diego, California. From grade school all the way through college. So I never really had to leave and, stand on my own 10 toes. So it wasn't until my first contract in Iceland that I was really like, man, can I really make it out here on my own type of thing? I had my little going away event, some friends and stuff staying the night at the house and everybody's sleeping. I'm the only one up at 4, 5 o'clock in the morning before a 10 a.m. flight. Do I really want to get on this joint?
Yeah.
And that was the first time that I really, in my eyes, learned what it meant to be a man, to navigate this life. And I think Iceland was a great experience for me because, I went to a situation where, I was a leader on the team. I was one of the older guys, surprisingly. So I went in there with a lot of responsibility in terms of, basketball wise. And I think that distracted me from, missing home and those type of things because I was just so focused on winning games, staying in the gym, and also, connecting with the younger guys on my team, because they had aspirations of going to the USA and, playing college basketball and those things. So even outside of practice, I was investing in, helping other guys. So yeah, it was a learning experience, but I definitely learned a lot from it, man.
Man, that's great, man. So let's fast forward to where we met, man. Shout out my man, Mike and Marcus Go. Those are the homies for life. And I was back in the days, I was the American on their team when we was over here balling together, man. And when you came into that little town, Hannover, man, you got to understand when we first started off with that team, it was just a bunch of us just partying all the time and playing ball, beating teams by 40 or 50 points. And then once we got to a certain level, we were like, okay, we got some money. We got sponsors, man. We got to go get some real pros, man. And you fell into our lap, bro. We're so blessed, man. And, I'm so happy that I met you there at my drug prevention program, man. And you really helped out the kids. The kids fell in love with you. And you really played great there. But I just want to put this out there, man. Let me just say this. What advice would you give to the young guy who's, in San Diego right now, 14, 15, growing up, would love to be a professional basketball player? And let's talk about the people that don't believe in other people, because I won't say names. I'm not going to hate. I'm going to keep it professional and keep it real. But, for you to go in the level that you played in Germany to the level that you play on now at the top levels all over Europe, I mean, there were some people that didn't believe in it. I'm not saying no names. I'm not no hater, but you believed in yourself. So what would you say to that young guy who's out there balling and got all the haters around him? What advice would you give to that kid?
2 things. I would say stay confident and persevere. You know what I mean? It's my vision. The vision you have for yourself, Joe, it ain't for somebody else to understand or see it through for you. It's for you.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? You see the end result. And if you stay focused on that end result, that end goal, any hurdle, or detour you got to make along the way is minor. So as I was pursuing what I wanted to pursue, I already knew there was going to be a group of people that, aren't going to see that vision for me like I see it for myself. Yeah. So I spend more time focusing on the people who believe in me as opposed to the people that don't. And I think that's one of the reasons why I was able to, fight through the tough times, persevere, be resilient, and be able to make it to where I am today.
Man, that is awesome. Jump in there, Renee. Jump in there, bud.
Yeah, there are so many questions. I mean, first I must say when you guys were playing, I was a kid in Hannover, like especially the time when Joe was still playing in the first years of the UBC Tigers. I was watching that and I was like, wow, this is so cool. It's so different to the other clubs in the area, because there was like, in my, when I was young, there was no other team that was making something like professional basketball. It was just all mixed up stuff. Everyone had their own plan and it was not really something professional out there, and it was just so cool to be there with, I don't know, Joe, how many people were in there in the years in Oberliga?
Oh man, yeah,
like 500 people.
The UBC Dome, we went from 500 people to, once Richie came, hey, we got 2,000 people in there, man, yeah. And we got the fire hazards going on in there, bro. The fire marshal like, hold on, man, y'all all came to see Richie, bro.
No, and I must say.
Go ahead.
I must just say it's so cool to see that right now. Like, I think the year you were there, I was already studying in South Germany, but yeah, it was just such a great project, the whole UBC Tigers thing. But first thing came to my mind, a few years back, how is basketball in Iceland? I never heard someone playing basketball there. Most people just think there's a lot of snow and cold winters and a few horses and a lot of wind, and that's it, and not many people live there. So how was that experience? How would you compare Icelandic basketball to other countries where you've been?
Man, that was back in 2009, man. 11 years ago. That makes me sound old. So I mean, I had the same thought as everybody else, like Iceland, I'm sitting here having a conversation with my family. Like, yeah, I'm a professional basketball player. I'm going to Iceland. My grandparents were like, they play basketball out there. Like, they got igloos. Yeah. And, this is before all the Zoom and all this other stuff. Yeah. It was just Skype, virtual conversations was just scratching the surface of what it was today. So when I was calling my family back home, they was like, man, show me a picture and all these things. And, I go from San Diego with, millions of people.
Yeah. Sunshine, beaches. Don't leave that part out, bro.
Sun, the whole nine, man. And I go to Iceland where I'm in a village. I'm not even call it a city, a village of 3,000 people. I'm the only black person in this town.
And they love you.
And I was in love, but also too, me walking down the street, people was breaking their neck as they driving, trying to see like who this is, walk around their community, man. But it was good, man. I loved it. I mean, it was cold. I'll tell you that much. It was cold. It was snowing the whole time, because I signed late. I signed in January. So I got there at the peak of winter. You get inches of snow. Some days you can't even open your door. You had to cancel practice, and I was just learning at that time too that Iceland was located at a part of a world where it was dark 24/7, so I was experiencing that. So I was, I had my mental struggles with that, coming from San Diego where it's always sunny, always warm, to polar opposite in Iceland. So yeah, I had to deal with some real things, for the short time I was there, but man, it made me come out stronger.
That's beautiful, bro. That's beautiful, man. So what would you say, where was the place that you were most comfortable, and where did you have, let's say, the most fun? And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, Richie won quite a few championships out here, man. So it's not like he was just running around, chasing around a ball. This dude has really got a decorated career going. You know what I mean? And so, where were you the most comfortable? Where would you say you had the most fun hooping?
The most fun. I had two really good coaches that I loved playing for when I was in Germany. That was Mike May and it was Pat Elsie.
Yeah.
So whenever I was with those two, I was having the most fun just because I was able to be myself. They weren't trying to you understand this as an athlete.
Sure.
You know, they recruit you for who you are, and then when you get there, you want to make some tweaks to how you play. Like, Joe, I want you to be yourself, but be yourself in this way.
Yeah.
You know, and playing for those two guys, I was, able to be my unapologetic self. And so I really had a good time when I was in Karlsruhe, Kirchheim, and especially when I was in Festa, where I had the most success and I was doing a lot of winning. You already know when you're winning, everything is gravy, man.
That's right,
Everybody's hugs, kisses, and smiles, and the whole nine, man. So I would say Festa was probably, the most exciting time for me.
That's beautiful, man. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, he's being humble. He was Player of the Year. The dude is just a straight up stud. So let me throw this in there too before I let Renee jump back in. What advice would you give to the guys? Because a lot of guys, man, like you went to a big school and you had the D1 footprint, what I'm saying, all over your forehead, and you already, what I mean, like you already had something going on before you came here. A lot of guys, they don't understand that you have to have a resume before you get to Europe if you're really trying to get to a bag. So what advice would you give to those guys, the guys that are, like you say, under the radar and, maybe maybe played at an NAIA or D2 and, and they think they're just going to come over here and get paid to hoop? I mean, what advice would you give those guys? Should they try a showcase or, should they try UPS and give up on their hoop dream? What would you tell them to do?
Hey man, I would say try these showcases out. Because even honestly me, I was a skeptic to it. And then after a few years down the line, I actually get to talk to coaches and agents and all these, different types of people, make different connections. And I would have just asked, like, yo, are these scams or, coaches and everybody really going to these events and actually trying to find players? And surprisingly, they actually go there and they find guys, So I would just say, just try to be as visible as possible. Now it's easier than it was, 10, 11 years ago.
For sure.
You get what I'm saying? Facebook wasn't what it was now. Now you got Instagram, you got so many different avenues, to showcase yourself. I mean, it's definitely going to have to be more than a minute highlight tape.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
yeah, for sure.
That ain't gonna cut it because you have to show and prove. It ain't just all made shots of yourself for 5 minutes. We will have to see you play through some mistakes. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Body language when things go bad. But I would just say, man, just try to be as visible as possible. Make some connections, and hopefully some doors will open up for you. And when it opens, man, make sure you show your best face when it does come.
Jump in there, Renee. Jump back in there, buddy.
Yeah, of course. There's also another interesting question I'd love to ask. You spent a couple of years in Germany playing basketball, and there might be multiple basketball players, college players who probably think about going to Germany if they get an offer. What would you say is the thing they should be prepared for? What were the unexpected things you encountered in Germany? Also positive and negative. Like when you got here, when you spent time here, when you played all your seasons, what were those things that you would tell young basketball players about Germany?
I would say if somebody can start their career in Germany, they would be starting in a great place. Especially, coming from America, they're used to foreigners. Most people speak English, great quality of life. I've gotten positive vibes from every city that I've played in, so if anybody can, start their career in Germany, that would be a great spot. The hardest part was just, the mental struggles, missing home, family, those types of connections, you still have the language barrier, getting certain places, figuring out, the bus system, the train system, which that stuff is minor. But for me, I think the biggest part is the mental struggle you go through just from being away from home and everything that you know. But as far as everything else go, Germany has really good people. It's not too far off from the lifestyle you'd be living back home. So it would be a great start for anybody who can get to Germany.
Yeah, but also the thing is, with the mental struggle, you would have that anywhere, and probably for you in Iceland with those dark nights from November to January, it would be even worse. But yeah, it's true. And also, what I hear a lot is that compared to Southern Europe, also the cost of life is not too bad. Supermarkets and groceries are a little bit cheaper than in some other countries, and the quality of life, as you said, I hear that a lot.
And most of the clubs that I play for too, especially when you're playing at the lower level, they also give you other ways that you could, make some money, some pocket change. I know when I started out in the Pro B in Hannover, they had this school program where I was able to go to these school and teach basketball programs, 2-3 days out the week, to make some extra money on the side. You get what I'm saying? So you're definitely going to have to get your hustle on. It's not just going to be all sunshine and rainbows.
Of
but
course.
Yeah, man, for sure.
If you really want it, you don't even see that as an obstacle. You just like, this is just part of the process.
Right. And at the same time, I was one of the guys that started that project that you were a part of. So, and to keep it real with you, man, those kids loved you, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like when you're not, that's the whole thing. Like when you're not around what's being said, that's the key right there. Because that's how, that's also what made me really say, hey, man, you know what, I rock with this dude. Because I was doing it, like you might be at a school one day and then you're not there. Then 2 days later, I'm at that same school. And as soon as I come in there, they like, oh, man, we love Richie. He's such a funny guy. And, and he's really a great basketball player. That's the key to success because, ladies and gentlemen, let's keep it real for all the listeners, man. The reason that Richie has had the success that he has is because he is a great basketball player. A lot of people are delusional, man. You're not just going to walk over to Europe and then from 1 minute to the next, you're a player of the year in the Pro A. It's not going to happen, man. You got to put the work in, which you've done, and you also have a high skill set. So, that's the blueprint. High skill set, put the work in, and now, you know what I'm saying? That's why you're in the position that you're in today. And let me ask you this. What do you see in the future? Do you see, because I think you would be a great coach because you know how it goes. I mean, we see Steve Nash just signed. Everybody was hating. Oh, he jumped the line. Think about Steve Nash as a basketball player for a second. You know what I mean? If you're a guard like that can, be back multiple MVPs, lead teams for 1,000 years, why wouldn't you be able to coach? You know what I'm saying? So I see you as that combo guard. You were a great point guard, but you also played it too. And I think that you would be a great coach. Is that something that you're thinking about, downrange when the cheering stops?
I don't know, man. I mean, a lot of people tell me that, especially a lot of guys that I played with and even coaches that I played for. They always ask me if I have coaching in my future just because of, not so much how I lead, but how I, teach the game and how I see the game. It's something that I never really thought I had a passion for. Something that I'm really, leaning more towards is the training aspect. You get what I'm saying? I like to work one-on-one with guys and, break down situations and not so much working in a team aspect. Nice. Even though I think I would be a good coach and I think Steve Nash would be a good coach. He was a point guard, great point guard. So he's going to see things that not the average person sees. And
exactly.
Another component to that is you have a coaching staff. It's not just Steve Nash who's running everything. Everyone, you have 5-6 coaches in the NBA. Everyone has a role. You know what I'm saying? He just ends up being the overseer of all that. So I think it's a great pickup for, side note, I think that was a good pickup for the Nets. Forget the haters. Haters
Yeah,
gonna hate.
exactly. And let me put this out there too, bro. Let's keep it real. As a point guard, a lot of times, man, you are the coach out there. You're the coach on the floor. Because, man, I'm gonna tell you, man, back in the days when I was playing that pro-am in Frisco, man, and playing against NBA dudes, and I was just like a high-flying dude, blocking shots, dunking everything. But my basketball IQ wasn't very high, ladies and gentlemen. So I needed that point guard to think for me from time to time. So let's keep it real. Sometimes that point guard is the coach on the floor.
Hey, I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna take that. That's my
Jump
role.
in there, Renee.
You know, I'll take those brownies.
For sure. Jump in there, Renee.
Yeah, so
Jump
it's 2020 now. You are in Austria now. Going to play soon, or how is the current situation in Austria, and what are your plans for the next weeks, or are you in team training? Like, what's going on right now in your life?
Oh, I'm still training every day.
Of course,
Single day.
That
That's mandatory, man. It's like people like to think that basketball players only work, 9 months out the year. It's like, no. Even when the season is over, we're still fine tuning our bodies, trying to add more onto our game, seeing how we can, take ourselves to that next level. So even when, the cameras aren't on, the popcorn ain't popping, and, fans ain't in the stands, we're still out here working, and doing a 9-to-5 job just like everybody else.
Yeah.
So in the meantime, I'm still working out, and got a few situations that, I have options, but, with this coronavirus and, what's going on socially in the world right now, you kind of have to be a little bit more strategic,
For sure.
because every situation ain't a good situation. And, who knows what's going to happen a month or two from now in terms of, this pandemic. So
Exactly.
just being patient and, just got to wait to make the right decision.
And let me tell you one thing. I coach a few basketball players too, various players on semi-professional or professional level, and none of them is taking like months off, as you said. It's absolutely normal thing. Probably after a season, some guys take a week or 2 or probably 3 weeks off to recover, and even then, some of them like go for some jogging or swimming or bicycling or whatever. But then you have to put in the work. You can't just take a few months off. It doesn't work that way. What you can do, and what some people do with a lot of success, is to put the basketball away. I mean, focus more on your athletic performance work, whatever, or hit the weight room, do your work, just don't play basketball. That works fine for some players, but you have to put in the work anyway. I mean, you have to do something, or you will get...
Absolutely. And just to put it in perspective for people, so we play games from August. We start training camp in August, and we're playing our season until May, and some people may be going to June. And after that season is over, you'll probably take 2-3 weeks off just to relax, let your body recover, and do whatever you want to do to clear your mind. And then after, middle of June until about the end of July, so you got about a month and a half to start training again for your next season before you're leaving again in August for training camp. This summer, you have 5-6 months to recuperate, and you can really you can reinvent yourself in that type of time. Yeah, you can do so much in 5-6 months. So I think it's just based on perspective and how you maximize this time and how you look at it. And I looked at it like, man, this is a chance to really be able to reinvent myself, and actually take my, my body to the next level and my game to the next level.
Yeah, this type of adversity can be a big factor, and you can turn out as a winner through all of that if you do the right things, if you're mentally prepared, if you make the right decisions. And yeah, it's great that you said that.
Yeah, no doubt. Thanks. Man, because at the end of the day, man, it's just like you said. I mean, and man, Richie, I know, Renee, there's been how many seasons have we played, and you're in the middle of the season and you're banged up, and you're gonna play anyway. You're gonna play hurt, and especially, especially on that pro level, I played hurt all the time. You know what I mean? And it's just like, because it's just, you're looking at yourself in the mirror, like you don't want to feel like, hey man, hold on, like I can't wuss out. You know what I mean? Like I have to do this. If I'm hurt, You know what I mean? I needed surgery. You know what I'm saying? That's hurt. You know what I mean? If I'm injured, I'm gonna ball. You know, and it's all that mentality, man. And to be able to have 5 months, off, that's great, man, for real, in a way.
You also know too is, you know, being the foreigner too, like, hey, you better play hurt or it's
exactly.
you out of here and it's next man up.
Yeah, man, I'm glad you threw that in there, bro, because yeah, man, there's a bunch of dudes that don't understand that part of it, man. Richie, say that again, my friend, please.
You always looking over your shoulder. You like, you know, hey, you know what? This is one of the most powerful speeches that I got from a coach. I was playing in Frankfurt, and it was a situation. It was one of the valleys in my career. You know what I mean? And I sat down with the coach, and he said, "You know, Richie, what you did last year got you your contract for this year, and what you do this year is going to determine what type of contract you're gonna get next year."
Yeah.
So it's like you're always looking over your shoulder. Nobody cares about what you did last Saturday because it all matters what you're going to do this Saturday in this game, and that's how they're going to judge you. Exactly. You get what I'm saying? So you might be out there on one leg.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, but it's time to go to work, though.
Because, you know, they might scratch Richie off the list, and who's the next man up? Who will be able to give you something?
I feel like
let's keep it 1,000. I'm sorry, Renee. Let's keep it 1,000 though. If they gonna scratch Richie's name off that list, man, what they gonna do with the lower league dude? You know what I'm saying? A lot of these dudes.
And that's what I think the thing is. It's just to not let it bother you too much, but to know that you're expendable.
Joe just switched his camera off. I don't know. But I wanted to say, I think you can transfer that to everything in life. And that's also a good thing. What you've done years ago, most people don't care. It's about what you've done yesterday or whatever. And yeah, so I think that was great. And we also came to the end of this interview. And I don't know, Joe has some technical issues. But for him and for me, I would say thank you for being here. I wish you all the best for the upcoming season, for everyone who's into basketball, that we will have some type of season, that things will get better soon everywhere in the world. And yeah, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me, man. It's always a pleasure to get on a platform like this. I've been watching you guys since you guys started. You know, Joe is my boy, and I'm just now meeting you, and you guys are doing a great thing, man, and keep it up.
So in the name of Joe, wherever his computer is right now, and me, thanks for being here. And yeah, all the best. Bye.
Ciao.